based on today, there might be delays at the M25 tomorrow and a small chance of rain, but I don't know what happens at the US presidential elections or the future of NATO. What we do know, for instance, in the Nordic region, however, is that Sweden and Finland have recently joined, and that means that the Nordic aspect of NATO has grown stronger, and consequently support for NATO in Iceland has rarely been higher.
Mm-hmm. Do you get a sense, though, that the old Nordic NATO members, now with the two new joiners, might get overlooked?
No, I don't think so. The Nordic aspect of the North Atlantic Treaty Association has been strong and will remain strong, and I think even stronger now that Sweden and Finland have joined.
Mm-hmm. What happens to democracy, coming back to Trump, if he gets back into the White House? And is that a risk for the rest of the world?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see what happens in the States. A fundamental aspect of a democratic society is fair and free elections. And looking back home to Iceland, that's what we pride ourselves on. And we're seen as a stable, sound democracy, strong welfare state. We want to continue on that road, and we know how much democracy matters. We know how much the right of each individual matters, and hopefully they'll realize that back in the US as well.
All right, that's a strong message to our US friends. Let's talk about geographically where Iceland is. Close to the Arctic, everyone's saying a Russian threat could also come through the Arctic Circle. And Russia and China have been positioning themselves economically, but also strategically around the Arctic Circle. Is the rest of the world underappreciating that risk?
Well, it's a tough world with many hot spots. What we have always emphasized back home in Iceland is to maintain the Arctic region a non-military zone where we try to keep the region free from military buildup. The Arctic Council has had that as its main policy, but with the recent invasion of Ukraine and Russia's aggression, it is very difficult to maintain a dialogue, and everyone in Iceland and neighboring countries near the Arctic region is concerned, and this will continue to be the policy of maintaining the Arctic region free from military usage and military buildup. But it's one thing for us to maintain that, and then it is another thing to see how the big powers react. You mentioned Russia, China comes further afield, but this is the message from Iceland, and we will keep on reiterating that message.
Again, I want to come back to some of the economic interests in the region, in the Arctic Circle, because now that we're seeing global warming picking up pace, there's also the potential for more drilling and tapping some of the previously unseen reserves when it comes to gas and oil. Are you in favor of that?
Well, Iceland is one of the youngest countries on Earth, only around 16 million years old. So when it comes to oil and all the resources on the continental shelf around Iceland and within Iceland's exclusive economic zone, we are in a position where there might not be as much potential as it is in other countries. The Norwegians have looked at and planned drilling up in the high north. Maybe they'll discover some green oil there.
That'd be the hope?
That'll be the hope. That's their hope, yeah.
Staying with global warming, obviously massive implications for your country, because the Arctic, according to stats, is warming nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the world. Huge amounts of carbon stored in the Arctic. Again, is the world appreciating that? Is it doing enough to protect that sacred space?
Well, we have to be aware of the fact that global warming affects the Arctic region just like it affects other parts of the world. And rising sea levels, increasing ocean temperature, acidification of the oceans, all this affects a fishing nation like Iceland. People in Britain may remember the so-called Cod Wars between Iceland and Britain in the mid-20th century, when we fought for access to fishing grounds off Iceland. Fish moves in mysterious ways, cod moves in mysterious ways, and we are concerned in Iceland that with these changes in the oceans, fish stocks might move from the grounds around Iceland further north, and we will have to take that into account. But whatever happens in the Arctic affects other parts of the world, so let's not overlook the Arctic.